So, usually I cover news, but I'm gonna just real quick do a quick video on my opinions on the RNC convention. I'm not wearing my hat today. It is what it is, okay? It is what it is. In any case, last night what they did at the RNC convention was they used the talking points that they've been using throughout the entirety of this administration. The Democrats are going to create a socialist, well, Tim Scott said socialist utopia, but I don't think he meant that, because utopia is an area that everybody wants to be in with happiness and joy and everything like that. Okay, I don't think that's the point that they meant to make. In any case, they've been using the socialist angle for 90 years at least. You had Joe McCarthy and the Red Scare, where everybody was a communist. Do you remember the picture of him sitting up there, in his seat at the Senate, and you got the guy whispering in his ear? That happened to be Roy Cohn, the Donald Trump lawyer, Roy Cohn. But I digress. How many presidents have we had since then that were Democrats, and how socialist are we currently? They stated that if the Democrats win the election, the whole country is going to be burning and rioting and things like that. Well, first of all, that might be a little bit of projection, because I believe that if there's rioting and things done when the Democrats win the election, it's not going to be the Democrats that are doing it. It's going to be people on the right that are going to be pissed off because their man wasn't elected. Let's just be clear on that particular point. They act like Democrats don't own businesses. They act like Democrats don't own guns. We want the same rights as everybody else, but the difference is that we don't just want them for ourselves. We want them for all of Americans, okay? When we're talking about the stripping of rights, let's talk about how in places like Tennessee, they're trying to outlaw protesting, which is protected by the First Amendment, okay? They're trying to conflate protesting and rioting, and we haven't carded any of these rioters, first of all, and second of all, the idea that the military should just go in, or police should just go in and clear out protesters, is an attack on First Amendment rights, because it's not Minority Report where you go and you solve a crime before it ever happened, or some nonsense like that. You have to give people the opportunity to do the things that they need to get done to be able to express their freedom to protest, their right to peaceful protest. And then when people are doing things that are breaking the law, then you can arrest them and hold them accountable, because that's how our nation of laws is supposed to work. It's misinformation. In any case, the Democrats, in my opinion, need to get ahead of that and push why places like Portland have continued to allow these protests to go on for the length of time that they have, and what they're doing to combat the destruction of property and things like that. Because no matter which part of the partisan divide you're in, nobody wants violence and nobody wants destruction. The point that we've gotten to, though, is where Colin Kaepernick took a knee and was ostracized for it. That was a peaceful protest. The people saw that peacefully protesting this police issue wasn't working, and so they escalated it. Nobody's saying that. Well, I mean, some people are, but in my opinion, police as a whole aren't bad. We need to look at their hiring practices, and we need to look at their emotional intelligence training, and we need to focus on that kind of thing. We need they need to stop being social workers. They need to get back into the community and talk to people, walk their beats, and look less like they're moving in to attack a city with their black fatigues and their face shields. Okay, but that's my opinion. You had people yelling in an empty auditorium about how Donald Trump is the future and the Democrats are going to destroy the country. Again, we've had Obama, we've had Bill Clinton, we've had how many Democratic presidents? And when we actually look at the numbers that they've produced with an unbiased situation, when we look at the economy, as Obama pulled us out of recession, that is a fact. As we look at the numbers going from 2010 to 2016 and see the unemployment numbers dropping steadily until they slowed around 2016, 2017, 2018, etc. I'm not even counting the pandemic issues. As we look at the fact that in 2014 was the actual law that, not the law, but the actual bill that allowed disabled veterans to write off college debt. These are the things that we need to be pushing, because at the Republican National Convention, they're using the same partial truths, okay? And I say a partial truth because there is rioting occurring. I say a partial truth because there is a conversation about firearms and guns, which are the same thing, but whatever. But to be clear on these things is what's important. To talk about healthcare and the Affordable Care Act and how terrible it is, and yet we haven't replaced it in the 4 years that the current president is here. These are the things that aren't being talked about at the Republican National Convention. Herschel Walker comes out and talks about his experiences with Donald Trump, and that's fine. Okay. I don't know if Donald Trump is racist towards black people. I know that I disagree with how he behaves towards indigenous people. Look up the Pequots and the Mohawks in the 90s and his comments on them. Look at what he's doing to the Mosh Pee currently. Look at what he did to Bears Ears. Look at his statements on Manifest Destiny. So I don't particularly enjoy how he's behaved towards indigenous people. But what I do believe is that he's a definite classist. Okay, meaning that him hanging out with Herschel Walker is more because Herschel Walker is a football player and has money, and less because he's an African American. Okay, that's how I feel on that issue. In any case, fact checking step by step and being clear are what I believe we need to be doing every step of the way, and not ignoring what they're saying at the Republican National Convention, because it's not just the Republicans that are watching it, it's the people that are on the fence, the independents that are watching it, okay? And they're seeing that, we're not getting ahead of these things and we're not explaining what's going on. We have Richard Spencer, who's now separated from, the MAGA crowd, and states that he believes that the Democrats are going to do a better job. But the problem with Richard Spencer, he's also the white nationalist that started the Charlottesville, the Unite the Right in Charlottesville. Okay, not a great endorsement. Good thing that Joe Biden called him repugnant, right? In any case, I'll continue to watch the RNC, get the little bits and pieces, and give my opinions. But, we need to get ahead of this. I'm at WIKWEKO on Twitter. Next time I'll wear my hat. At IndigenousPatriot.com. This is a little bit of a different video. I usually cover the news, but I really wanted to focus on some of the things that they were saying and doing at the RNC. I mean, Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan, for real? For real. So we have the hashtag save our children, which is the QAnon hashtag, and not save the children. But we're saying save our children, but we ignore the fact that at the Republican National Convention, there's a man that's been accused by countless young men of ignoring cries for abuse. Talk out one side of your mouth, do something out the other side. That's exactly what's going on. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good afternoon.